Hello, I'm... no, I'm not an idiot for once. I am currently hitting my head with my hand. Okay. If any of you know The Amazing Atheist, obviously he is the amazing atheist. I commented on one of his most recent Josh Feuerstein videos about a week ago. I commented on it. Now, the comment below mine, I'm not going to say the name. I'm just going to say she is awesome. Why Christians are hypocrites. Scientist. Okay? You gotta eat more fruits and vegetables to be healthy. Christian. Okay. Scientist. Now you gotta exercise to maintain healthy also. Christian also agrees with that. Generally. Scientists switch to electric cars. They are better for the environment. Christian. Okay? Scientist. We found evidence that proves evolution true. Christian. Again, this is like one of the hardcore Bible-thumping Christians that say, God made Earth. This is perfect, but if we were horse people, eyes on the sides of our heads would be perfect. Or if we were reptilians, having our penises go into our own, go back, like... Now, I get the failure of logic of saying humans were intelligently designed. Now, this is not against the thought of there being an ethereal being. A higher ethereal being that looks over humanity. That is not something I'm against. Although, the only reason I would not be pissed off as hell at meeting such an ethereal being would be only if, like, from the ethereal plane, you cannot do anything. Like, this is the fourth dimension he is from. The fourth dimension cannot do any actual interaction with the third dimension. And blah blah, it turns into kind of like spirit science. Watch Martimer if you want to know anything about that. But anyways, so the general Bible-thumping Christian who thinks the Earth is around 6,000 years old and goes, man had always been man. Or as Josh Feuerstein at one point said, oh, if humans evolved from monkeys, why aren't there any people in between, like monkey people in between that? To which is not as hard of a face palm as, well, technically there is a and it wouldn't be monkey, it's a primitive humanoid ape creature. There are fossil records between that and us, and fossils are very rare to be in the science of archaeology, so it's kind of... You know what? I'm just gonna put this back on. That makes the screen look weird for once, because I'm not looking at my own face. Okay, anyways, the first comment on this was, because all those are actually tested things that produce results. Which part of evolution produces results? We can somewhat produce results. Then there's the next person who replies to him. He has a decent thing saying, read a book that actually talks about it and goes into enough detail for a lot of people to understand, basically, and that it in fact shows the mountain of evidence that leans towards evolution being more likely rather than we came out of factory, we are humans, beep beep blop. I mean, I was thinking of, like, looking back on the Martymer's video at the comment chain that was online, but that was mainly things of something that didn't really have me facepalm because there wasn't really anyone there that was disagreeing with the main topic. But here, now on this, I was hoping someone was actually going to comment on my thing and say, no, that is wrong, without actually giving an argument and attempting to see who is dumber, me or the person who commented to me. Don't think about it too much. No, it's not too smart that it will make your brain explode. It's the fact of someone arguing with me and us trying to have an argument would be so stupid that it would make your mind explode. Anyways. So, evolution is observed daily by Rat Pound. I believe that's the British currency of pound symbol. Anyways, Bill O'Reilly, which is the one that this guy ends up commenting to. I don't reject the evidence. I don't follow the evidence. For all I know, that evidence could lead over a cliff. I don't explain the evidence, which is what a theory is. A theory is an explanation of facts or evidence. Well, I don't explain them. I take it at face value. Yeah, so if you take the evidence at face value, it's saying evolution is the most likely thing. Again, as most of you know, I'm the idiot that yaps at night, blah blah blah. Something along the lines like Darkwing Duck does, like I am the gum on the bottom of your shoe of evil, except I just say some random shit. Anyways. So, the evidence points towards evolution being true, and if you do not reject the evidence, but you're not going to follow the evidence, even though we have the facts that we do have ancestors between us and some of the first apes, At least he's saying it could be a possibility. Now, here's what ended up making me facepalm 3 times in a row. To go like, wait, did I just hear stupid that level? A level below my own regular stupid? Okay. Evolution has been observed on fruit flies. I'm not even going to attempt to say that name, but Ralphfire77 then replies, that's true, and not much has changed, so that's all we know. In my opinion, the only way to know what to look for is if you've seen it before. Okay. Ebola. There was a genetic mutation in one of them that allowed it to survive in the toxic thing. The thing toxic to the Ebola strand longer. Therefore, well, you get my point. The bacteria that it survived, gone on to reproduce. Scientists added a slightly stronger strain that ends up trying to kill off those. A few more do survive after that, and they only keep on building an endurance to this antibacteria, or antivirus, or anti-human thing. Anyways. Well, luckily not all people think like that. Humanity would stagnate. Ralphfire, how so? It's like going into a situation blindfolded, ain't it? No. This was before I started and facepalm for myself, because I said Ebola. Trey, what word are you fucking talking about? It's the E. coli experiment. Oh, sorry. Trey no good with word. If Chubb Norris were here, he would end up making it a lot funnier. This isn't... Then, Sherlock Wright. What part of evolution produces results? The part where it explains every bit of life on Earth. It's been called the greatest scientific theory ever by some due to the sheer volume of successful prediction it makes. In science, the theory is the body of knowledge that explains the processes of which life changes over time. And then, now, this doesn't matter. Okay, forget the fact that it's about evolution. Now, any of you tell me if I'm right with this action. Explanations aren't results. And then, results don't need explaining. Ralphfire! Your logic broke. Like, more broke than Trey logic. Trey logic is in fantasy world as well, like God. But what fuck? Ralphfire! I even know that's stupid. Result. 1 plus 1 equals 3. How did you get 3 from that? Let's see. A man, and a woman come together and have a baby. Therefore, now you have 3 people. See? See? 1 plus 1 equals 2. How'd you come to that conclusion? Like, seriously. Results do need explanation. Like, this is mainly me talking about logic here for about half an hour. And I'm not even halfway through her comment section. Sure. Again, I'm Sherlock Wright. I'm glad you attempted to put it in simple terms that apparently he's just being retarded for. So, Ralph Fire, just no. I agree there's some parts of evolution we've seen before. Well, so, if we see that again, it's a continuous process, therefore you can't see it again. You're always seeing it. Like, we can say it's evolution, but the majority of evolution we never seen. The majority of evolution we never see. Yeah, because the majority of evolution that has happened to get to where we are, we can never actually experience. We cannot experience the dragonflies that are like a freaking foot long and gonna eat your face. Because oxygen levels were at 2 times and you have all these giant ass insects. I'd hate living in that world. I mean, you have twice as much oxygen, sure. But then you have all the bugs. Say, supersize me. Like, seriously, that would be scary as fuck. Anyways, continuing to read retardation. Evolution, the majority of evolution we've never seen in process. We are just basically connecting the dots and making explanations, because usually that's what science does. Like gravity. Gravity pulls this down. Well, if gravity works, this pulls down. If it does not, it will float upward or just stay in the air. Therefore, gravity is a possibility. Now, and then we have to go extremely complicated with saying space bends the more mass is in one place. And just, I know that there's a video I could put in the description to explain that a fuck lot better than I can. And honestly, it's an awesome experience. An awesome experiment a lot of teachers can do for science classes. It just takes this kind of spandex material and kind of put it in a trampoline-like thing, clamped onto a ring, and lots of weights and marbles. Trey sucks at explaining. Yeah, and I'm still noticing leaps in logic for this guy. Yeah, and so I don't believe those, which he's saying. I don't believe in explanations. I believe in experiences, which was my first actual facepalm. And then, of course, retard. Again, the impronounceable name says, if you don't see something or don't experience it, it doesn't mean it couldn't have or it has been happening. You didn't experience God creating Earth. Why would you believe something like that? Which is a perfect explanation of, well, you said, because we aren't experiencing evolution that happened then, and we can't experience God creating the universe then. How are you believing God creating the universe then, but not believing evolution? No, I'm not gonna go with there. I was about to make a joke that it's just been stuck in my head ever since I heard the term. It's a hilarious term. It's one of the most amazing terms created by Mortimer. Other than ETS, extraterrestrial ship. Anyways, so, impronounceable name. Okay, simply because I believe there's a God. Simply because I believe there is a God. That is his reason for believing that God could create the Earth, but evolution didn't make man. I think I might break my skull if I keep... I have no way to really, cut this video up into segments. Anyways, granted, I have no knowledge whatsoever how Earth was created, unless you want to take the scientific approach and say it's just matter that accumulated together, which again, okay, and this is where I again started to smack my head. Okay. In space, if everything was to stand still, like the Earth wasn't in an orbit around the Sun, then the Earth would start heading towards the Sun because the Sun has a greatly denser mass than the Earth. And Jupiter would end up eventually falling into the Sun, just giving it sort of like throwing a gallon of gasoline into a fire, but in a ball form, and it's nuclear fusion. Anyways, now that's where I kind of stopped and started recording. But that's why it's called a belief, and it's not something you can exactly control. I know evolution could have happened, but that's all I can know. Evolution has been observed. Search microevolution on Google. I think most of us skeptics about evolution have no problem with evolution happening or having happened. I still believe Adam and Eve could have formed just from that, seen as how there are several different theories just on sex. What? What? S-E-X-E-S. Sexies. When did my girlfriend start multiplying herself asexually? I'm sorry, bad joke. I know. I'm a horrible person. My problem is when people try to mix explanations with the hand. It's not worth it. Okay. Then expect me to go along with it. I'm not a big fan of society anyway, and I can't do that. That's incoherent, as, like, it doesn't make sense what you just said. Like, I guess I can understand what you said. It's just, what? Anyways, no one has ever seen a dinosaur change into a bird, or a land mammal into a whale, or even all life coming from a single-celled organism. Anyone tells me anything, evolution or not, that anything takes millions of years, I automatically disagree with them. Experience always comes... Okay. I think I should kind of stop here, because what I have a sheet about 3 minutes left. Okay, anyways. So, we do have proof, like, proof as close as we can get to it. The evidence that leads towards us saying the whale was at one point a land mammal. For example, the whale's skeleton, it has 2 back vestigial limbs on the inner part of its back side. Like, the tail area of the whale, there's vestigial limb bones in the body. Vestigial meaning it no work. You no use it. Sort of like the pancreas, I think. Or as with Ralph Fire 77, the medulla oblongata. Because I don't experience the medulla oblongata, therefore it is not real. That's seriously what he's saying. And again, the proof we have is through the fossil records. The evidence we have. Proof does not exist anywhere. And the only reason why 1 + 1 = 3 is because 3 is the name of the number that comes after 1. I mean, number is a word that we made up. I mean, all the words you might know might be completely false in an alien language. I mean, of course, this is more than this. This is more than this. And this is more than this. Right? Humans have to put things together. Like, humans have to connect the dots in some logical order. Like, 1 + 1 is 3. 3 + 3 is 97. Like, of course, that does not make sense because those are not the actual names of the numbers, but you would get the point. Like, if you never knew numbers existed and was going like, there's a bunch of people. I mean, there are fossil records of what happened to the descendants of the dinosaurs, that the ancestors of the whale were on land, and we have this skeletal fossil record, tray. Yeah, and I am still horrible with words. Now, Shadow Order. Okay, let's see. What did you say? Well, you have to look and see if what... Ralphire, you have to look and see if what you believe makes sense to you. If it does, then continue to believe in what you believe. But it's good to rethink things in such sense as the Adam and Eve story. Oh, John, did you really have to shoot him down so early after he mentioned Adam and Eve? There was no Adam or Eve. That doesn't even make any sense. Your view is very narrow-minded. Assume you are a day fly. You will never see a tree grow, nor will hundreds of generations of your species. Does that mean that a supernatural agency poofed the trees in their current state into existence? You have to deny so many pieces of evidence to so many different fields of science. It is incredibly baffling why people do not accept evolution in the 21st century. Okay, so John Doe ends up telling Ralphire that why he's being ignorant with the thing of the dayfly only lives a very short time, and not even hundreds of generations later would they ever see the growth of a tree. But then Ralphire ends up going and saying like, well, yeah, and because we cannot, who's to say that the tree will ever grow? I don't feel like face-palming to this, because I understand that, but argument from incredulity, You know what? Question. Martimer81. Is it, like, argument of ignorance is what it is, right? Or incredulity? I think those are the terms for basically the same thing, I believe, but it's generally called the argument from ignorance, where, well, I don't know, so therefore God. Can you help me out here? Can you hit me with a bolt of lightning at any point so I can enter death and thus enter the ethereal plane to kick your ass for being such a douchebag and not doing anything? Now, I don't understand not shooting a bolt of lightning if you are unable to do anything from the ethereal plane, in which case I can excuse the whole thing of not doing anything for humanity. again, my theory of the ethereal plane is it cannot interact with us. Therefore, technically it does not exist. You may still go there after death, but from there, poof, you no longer exist. God can't do anything from there, and He's just keeping a place for you. And all the other people in the world. Hell? No. That doesn't exist. Why? Well, obviously, if there's murderers in hell, they obviously don't like other people. Therefore, being in heaven, where they cannot kill other people to get rid of the other people, thus puts them in their own little nightmare realm. See? It can be a bit sadistic when you think about it like that. I can no longer kill people while I'm in heaven, but I want to get rid of all the people around me. I'm now getting paranoid. And then they just slip further into madness and are locked in a cage somewhere in heaven. And where the she-god, yes, my theory also involves God being female. If A, the ethereal plane can exist, but I've already gone past 35 minutes, so let's make an hour stupid. I know someone's going to disagree with me at some point. I know you will disagree with me, sir. If you say you are not going to disagree with me, there, you already disagreed with me by saying you won't disagree. Aha! Anyways, so Ralph Fire said, so where was I? Ralph Fire saying that he's gonna stay with the argument of ignorance. And that's actually what I said, John. Joe, when did my uncle get here? Yes, words. The bane of my existence. So anyways, John ended up saying what I basically said. That Ralph Fire is the fly saying trees don't grow. See? Evidence. Da-da-da. Loads and loads of it. The creationists can't even explain why the fossils are geographically isolated in specific strata. I'm not denying the evidence, so, but evidence has nothing to do with it. There we go again. Back to evidence is not experience. No. With the evidence, we can attempt to know how the experience is. What? Let me try it this way. Turn your head around, okay? Turn your head around, face towards the camera, Ralph Fire, and attempt to stick your fingers into your mind's anus and rip it open, and thus releasing your brain. Okay, again, I call myself retarded. I honestly think I am pretty retarded a lot of times. I honestly don't see how Charlotte stays with me most of the time. And then, I'm looking at Ralph Fire here. When I look at you, Hellfire, I start to see why Charlotte ends up kind of telling me, no, you are not stupid. I mean, we both acknowledge I do stupid things frequently, but she generally just doesn't allow me to say I'm the complete biggest idiot in existence. And Hellfire is one of the reasons I am not the biggest idiot in existence, because okay, you know what? Here's an example of the amazing atheist actually put out there. Let's assume, fine, humans were made as they are by God. But she, yes, in my theory of the ethereal plane, God is a female. Reasons? Created. Okay? And if we're looking at God made humans in their image, in our image, as the Bible says, in our image, well, first off, humanity has a daddy then. If you're... Okay, I'm going off track with my own thoughts. Again, I'm sorry. Again, I am an idiot. Most of the time, except not here for right now. So, God and a couple of her other ethereal being friends go like, okay, boom, here's the Earth and everything of it. Now, we are going to, and this is like, it ends up starting at early humans, like caveman level. And she goes like, okay, now, there are solidified, petrified versions of creatures that would have came before them. Now this is going to be a test to see how long these beings are capable of surviving until their star eventually goes red giant. They will have all these things, like, of course, you know what, I'll put it the amazing atheist way. God put the fossils into the ground and gave us evidence that evolution does happen. It may have not actually happened, but God herself gave us the proof that it does. You can say God made the universe. Well, that's fine. Because, yeah. But what God did when creating the universe was it gave the Earth, this ethereal being also gave the Earth a backstory, like all this stuff happened before it. And now we want you to know that these processes are capable of happening. Now, be smart and try to survive as long as possible. And go. And in the 21st century, I think we should bust a project. No. Anyways, so back to Fire. You're right about the day, but it can also be backfired on you guys with you guys saying it's been 2,000 years since we claimed God. Or if there is a God, he would have showed up already, etc., etc. Again, my theory is on that maybe this fourth dimension cannot interact with the third dimension directly. Or rarely even indirectly. So there. And so he says he stands by the Dayfly scenario. You are and then the starter of this. Wait, no, never mind. Oh wait, yes it is. Haha. So the person who started this ends up saying, "You're denying evidence and facts." Laugh my ass off, like all other Christians. And so then Ralph Fire says, "How so?" And then, well, John Doe ends up going back to the previous comment where he's saying that he's sticking with the Dayfly scenario. And he's like, the last 2,000 years have been recorded by historians, more or less. But contemporaries of Jesus didn't mention him. They devoted whole chapters, even books, to Jewish prophecies, supernatural phenomena, etc., but not a single mention of Jesus. There is no backfire. I'm not saying there are no supernatural agencies, or that evolution would even disprove them. It doesn't. Exactly. Like what I was trying to say as the Amazing Atheist said it, which I did a horrible job. God creating the Earth with a backstory of evolution happens. Now, I want you guys to be smart and go. And thus, time began in the third dimension. The Dayfly analogy shows your narrow-mindedness. You are free to stick to it, but you also have to admit that you're denying a massive amount of evidence. Different fields of science. I don't also have to do anything. All I really have to do is die. But same question, how so? What? Hey, I've met Christians. Now this is to the starter of this comment chain. Hey, I've met Christians that aren't stupid and deny evidence. Well, okay, hold on a moment. Okay. So anyways, I'm probably going to put this into 2 parts. And this has gone on almost an hour anyway, so... yeah. I'm gonna just... You don't need to eat fruits and vegetables to be healthy. True. It just helps. It just helps, Anon. It just helps. Oh, back to the results thing. Successful predictions are definitely results. If you can predict new and interesting things in advance, this means your model is correct. Correct. Obviously, I am not any Mortimer, but yeah, I'm smarter than Ralph. Yeah, it was Mom.
What'd you say?
We can go and pick her up now. I was finishing up something. Goodbye.